Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be covering a topic that is something recent, disgusting and straight up horrifying. And that is what happened with Chris Chan. Chris Chan, otherwise known as Christine Weston Chandler, is a self-proclaimed webcomic creator, blogger, YouTuber, and artist. Now remember, I'm using the term artist quite loosely because if you really think about it, all of the creations this individual has come up with since they started making the content that they do shows no improvement in terms of their artistic abilities whatsoever. In 2004, Chris created the abomination the internet loves to hate and hates to love, Sonichu. Sonichu is a mix between Pikachu and Sonic the Hedgehog. I do want to mention that Chris was diagnosed with high-functioning autism. Chris Chan is one of the most well-documented individuals on the internet. Some even claim that they are more popular than Jesus himself. Although Chris Chan was active on the internet since 1997, they only rose to prevalence, I'm using that term very loosely yet again, in 2007 when they were first discovered by the internet's biggest cesspool, 4chan. Since then, people have made it their God-given duty to stalk, egg on, and even bully this person on the internet and in real life. And in the beginning, I admit it as well, they did not deserve this kind of treatment. However, now, it's a different story. On the 30th of July, Chris Chan was arrested and is currently being held at Henrico County Jail in Virginia. What was the reason, you may ask? Well, this gem of a human being thought that it would be a good idea to go ahead and rape their 80-year-old mother who suffers from dementia. Yes, this video just went from a 0 to a solid 1000, especially for my viewers right now who are not really used to watching me make content about the United States. The arrest was triggered after a phone call between Chris Chan and this girl named Bella was leaked, where Chris Chan confessed to having sexual relations with their mother. And believe me when I say that freaking phone call recording was one of the worst things I have ever heard this year. And believe me when I say 2021 has not been a very nice year to me so far. Not only was this individual confessing to rape, but they were also confessing to having incestuous relations with their mother who suffers from severe dementia. Their mother who gave birth to them. It's not even a stepmom or something. Ugh. Now notice how I refer to Chris using they, them pronouns. Well, that's because I look at Chris for what they actually are. Somebody that is extremely disgusting, someone that is a delusional human being, and someone that has been showered not only with the privileges of the American system, but also the left-leaning internet. Now you must be like, Anjana, but aren't you a lefty yourself? I actually am. In fact, I'm so much of a lefty that I would have never imagined myself being this progressive back in like 2016 and 2017 when I was like really into content creators like Ben Shapiro and Dvorsky, Milo Yiannopoulos, and so on and so forth. I am as left-leaning as it can get, but there is one thing I think the left wing needs to amp up their stances on is the way predators like Chris Chan are treated. Let's take Xander Hall as an example. Although I consider him as nothing more than a ContraPoint simp, I do know that he does make some valid points here and there, and I appreciate him for that. I'm subscribed to him. However, his stance on the whole Chris Chan thing kind of sent me in a spiral, and I kind of started to understand that he's not the only lefty that is mainly focused on Chris Chan's pronouns and how important it is, rather than talking about the severity of raping an 80-year-old with dementia who happens to be their mother. While I started to notice that right-leaners, for once in their lifetime, are not politicizing the situation and are actually just speaking up about how horrible Chris Chan is for raping their mom. The reason I'm bringing up both sides is because I've noticed that this has become more of a political discourse rather than just discussing the acts of a criminal. The primary focus of this video is to talk about how Chris Chan was and still is a complete menace and a danger to society. Chris Chan, in my humble opinion, is the god of all incels. But I digress, and now just to give you guys a few more details about how horrible Chris Chan was, I got my wonderful friend Ayan, who is in a little bit of a different setup for this video, to really share her 2 cents on the matter. So without further ado, let's get into that.
Well, hello internet. Today we're looking deeper into the case of Christian Western Chandler. And what a case it is, my friends. What a case it is. Based on our very intensive research, the worst offenses of said individual are too many to name. However, we have compiled quite a coherent list, and it goes as follows. Our interesting specimen has pepper sprayed a GameStop employee for being kicked out of GameStop. Of course, that doesn't even begin to describe the horrors. Another thing our beautiful specimen has committed was hitting their mom during a live stream. What a person, huh? Well, moving on, he made sexually explicit drawings of his one and only friend at the time, called Megan, after which he blamed her for ruining the rest of his life. And instead of apologizing, he put the blame on her. Interesting, isn't it? As well as doing that, he said the reason he actually drew those explicitly sexual depictions of him doing the dirty with his one and only friend who trusted him was because he was afraid to act out these urges in real life. Rapist alert. Well done. Moving on. Another beautiful thing our specimen of today has done is dox said girl. Yeah, it gets worse. He doxed her on top of doing all of that shit. Mind-boggling. Truly mind-boggling. And so, my friends, when it comes to women in Chris's life, there seems to be a pattern repeating. Another person in our specimen's life was Catherine. Oh boy, oh boy. You see, Catherine was very unhappy with Chris being touchy-feely with her. So what does our beloved specimen do? He motorboats her. He motorboats the girl. See, you don't just have to be a boyfriend-free girl in Chris's life to be stressed out because of Chris. Also, you can be someone else's girlfriend. And here we introduce Mim's girlfriend, who Chris publicly asked to be killed because a decade ago, this man had some beef with Mim. Happens. He was very racist towards Tito, using the N-word generously. You know, we all have some type of attachment to our parents, right? This isn't going where you think it's going. But yeah. And this person had memorabilia from his late father, going back generations of stamps and records and just so much memories. What does he do, you may ask? Well, according to my papers, he sold it. He sold it for some games. Yeah, I mean, that's about it, my friends. I know it's gory, I know it's bad, but it is what it is. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, and then he kind of raped his mom with dementia. I'm done.
So we have Ayan back in her normal form. But I just wanted to add that maybe some of you guys might be thinking that, but there are a lot of celebrities who are like in their 60s and stuff, who end up having like 20-year-old boyfriends, and the age difference isn't too bad, and thanks to TLC, the situation hasn't gotten any better. But there are two things that those women have that Chris's mom did not when sharing their relation with someone.
And those things are a clear state of mind,
Yeah.
and not being related to Chris. Right? The basics.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
So, not only is this wrong on so many levels, because, again, she is the mother of this person. The mother.
Like, not the stepmother. They came out of her.
Mm.
They went back in.
Ooh. Let's not do that. But yes, to put it crudely, yes. Came out and went back. Okay. Jokes aside though, all jokes aside, as funny as they can be, this woman suffers from dementia. And dementia is not a joke. Like, people who suffer from dementia, and I'm really sorry if any of your loved ones went through this, especially elderly people, of course. It's a horrifying disease. Like, you forget everything. You forget who you are. You go into this infantilized state of being where you're not even aware of what's happening around you. And you can see on the live streams and in videos where she appears, she just zoned out. She's not there. Like, there are some lucid moments here and there, but it's just, a person with dementia cannot give consent. They cannot give consent, they're not able to. And given the fact that this is her one and only caregiver, it is disgusting.
Ooh, I didn't even think about that. That's
like, she has nothing to do, nowhere to run, no one to talk to, no one to report this to. And I'm so glad it actually came out, as terrible as it is. At least she's out of that situation now.
This whole Chris Chan situation has painted people on the spectrum in such a bad light. Like, one of my favorite content creators, Timimi, she suffers from autism. Like, she even called out Chris Chan on the bullshit, and they made a very, very good video about Chris Chan, I might add. Again, she had to reinforce the fact that not all autistic people are like Chris Chan, which is like a...
I mean, it's ridiculous that it even needs to be said.
And for example, when we're talking about the left, when we look at the Simone Biles situation, this was literally an athlete that participated in the Olympics that dropped out due to their mental health.
Yeah.
While the right was like, oh, fuck her, this little pussy ass bitch, like, she dropped out, like, oh, we don't want weaklings and shit. We have the left that was supporting her decision because it's the normal thing to do.
Obviously.
But I don't understand, where is this divide coming from in the Chris Chan situation? Like, why are we focusing more on pronouns rather than the mental health ramifications that Chris's mom has to face?
So, in conclusion, Chris Chan is the result of someone with mental health issues, stuck in an abusive household, egged on by the internet, turned into a quote-unquote lol cow, and just left to be. Their mother was an enabler, everyone around them was an enabler. He didn't have any real life friends. Everyone on the internet was bullying them, making them do silly, weird things that would reach gross levels when given the chance. And this is the result. This is the result of unchecked behavior egged on by the internet again and again and again. People are not spectacles. People are not freaks at a circus back in the day where you can just look at them with your popcorn and be like, haha, right? This is what it leads to. And I hope that everyone's takeaway from this is, let's never do this again. Ever. If you see someone who has mental issues, who doesn't understand social cues, who can be easily trolled, let's not do this. We don't need another Chris Chan. No one needs another Chris Chan.
No mother needs another Chris Chan.
Let's just drop it.
Yeah.
And never make this mistake again, internet.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. So that is all we have for today's video. I hope you guys liked it. Please let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.
Bye.
Oh, it's money. How am I live with it? I feel like giving it. I feel the trust from all this money.